Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. So here's the thing, running a business can be very expensive, but that's one of the reasons why you don't go into debt before you begin making any money, which unfortunately is exactly what happened here. Caleb Hammer had someone on his channel who went $43,000 in debt for a food truck without making any money. And if you think that's bad, keep watching because it tends to get worse. Although before we start, I do want to say a big thank you to Fund and Grow for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Let's begin.
Hey, it's your boy Nicholas, 28 years old, currently living in Metro Detroit, but grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, actually.
Whoa, what are you doing in Austin?
Coming to see you. Thought this would be fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Thought it would be fun. Thought it'd be fun to get roasted in front of 100,000 people online because I decided to borrow $43,000 for a food truck. I really hope that he was able to make this work. That is a lot of money. That is a big conviction that your business is going to do well, by the way. Especially, I don't know about it. If he has another job, like I could see maybe going full-time in this thing if he has a proof of concept. But man, it's a lot to spend on this.
What do you do for a living in Metro Detroit?
I actually work for a major airline over there.
What's the position?
Flight attendant, actually.
What is it an hour?
$38.69 per flight hour. And then after 12 years, it'll cap out at 72.69 flight hours.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? I learned that flight attendants don't get paid until I think it's the doors close. So that's it. So all that time spent like getting people on the plane and off the plane, they're not making any money on that. I've also potentially heard that they don't make money until the flight actually takes off. So a lot of those times when they're delayed and like you're upset and like the flight attendant is like trying to do the best they can, people take it out on them like it's their fault. Like they're the ones holding this up. Like they're not making any money on that. So when he's talking about flight hours, it could very well be that he's not getting paid until that plane is off the ground. So yeah, it's high, but it doesn't take into account all the time that he's just waiting there on the plane, essentially not making money until the door closes and the flight takes off.
With Ally, you have a few things on here. That action, I assume that's just the base checking account?
Correct, yeah. Put a little nickname on it.
Nice. And then you have a holding account, travel account, emergency fund, future investments, and car and house account.
Yeah, okay, so total balance is $4,400. You know, that's enough to pay maybe a month or two of his expenses. You should be getting more than that, you know, beefing that up a little bit before spending $43,000 on a food truck. But beyond that, it's okay.
Ally is actually my main account that I do most of my bills from, and I probably added money from savings, another account to there to make it that much.
Well, that's not good having to take from savings, is it?
Well, it's technically not a savings account. It could be a de facto holding account with another bank that has a higher interest rate, and it's just like a pool of money that I have.
All right, so there you go. So what he's basically doing is he uses one account for all of his day-to-day expenses, but then he has a holding account at Ally Bank because they pay a better interest rate than, you know, a lot of these other banks do. A lot of the major banks pay you nothing. Ally Bank, I think, is about 4% interest right now, which is not the best, but it's really good, okay? So that's what he's doing. I like Ally. I've used Ally for a long time. They're fantastic.
Now, why did you have to bring in so much money and take so much money out?
I made a mistake in transferring some money from another account, which I was supposed to use another account, and then I used my other account to replace that money that I took out.
Why do you have so many accounts? That's the thing, like, when you go beyond maybe 2 accounts, it just gets confusing. You don't want to start doing that. It's so much better just to have like 2 main accounts. You don't have to worry about it. Plus you start getting like 1099s from all of these obscure companies that start mailing them to you for like $3, $4, $5. It's better just to have a consolidated account, you know, that's it.
Since Ally has a semi-high interest rate, I keep the majority of my money there until I need it to pay off the credit card for that statement month to get a few extra points on interest for that account, since the checking account doesn't have a high interest rate.
You know, I don't even know if it's worth it though, because if he's even now, back then, you know, the interest rate he'd be getting is maybe like 2.5%. Not really worth it when you think of all the time it takes and, you know, mental stress and having to think about it. It's probably not enough. I'd say it begins getting worth it when you have a few $1,000s in there. Under $1,000, it's just, you're not really going to see that much of a benefit unless the money's just sitting there for like a year.
I have taken some money into it and bought some like dividend yielding stocks, and I have put some in Robinhood for some trades.
Emergency funds that are supposed to just sit there.
That is
and then
correct.
never be thought about again. What's your rent on a monthly basis?
It's very low. It's only $400 a month.
Wow, Detroit. All right.
Wow, there we go. See, this guy so far is smart. I think he got on the entrepreneur bandwagon. It's like, I'm going to do a food truck and it's going to be really trendy and I'm going to do all these things, and it just begins to add up. It's too much money to bet on that, I think, without a very strong proof of concept or without a ton of financial backing.
18,183 ending balance at the time of this statement. This is like actually your emergency fund.
No.
What is this?
I have a small business that I'm working on, and this is all of my business some of my business funds, not all of it.
You know, the one thing I want to say about that is that...
I quit!
What? Why?
Because I just came up with the greatest business idea of all time, underwater escape rooms.
What? Who would ever fund something like that?
Oh, silly Graham. Well, today's sponsor, Fund and Grow, will.
Well, I guess that's kind of true because their sponsor Fund and Grow offers a simple alternative to traditional financing. With their 12-month membership, you could secure up to $250,000 of credit at 0% interest without giving up any equity. Like, getting your business funded through a traditional bank can oftentimes be very strenuous and stressful, often without any guarantees. But Fund and Grow understands just how crucial it is to get small businesses the funding that they need, both quickly and efficiently. Fund and Grow already has over 4,000 to 4.9-star reviews, and as a special offer for you guys, Fund and Grow's prepared an outline that will show you the 5 steps to securing up to $250,000 in business credit. Plus, as an exclusive, since you're here watching the video, they'll offer a $500 discount on their services. So if you want to start expanding your business, visit Fund and Grow down below in the description to get started funding your business today. And now with that said, I guess we'll get back to the video.
Some of it must have been invested because it went from $1,240 to $64.
Oh, Masterworks, a little bit of Masterworks for painting.
They wanted to sponsor a video. I said no.
Okay. The thing with Masterworks, though, is that you kind of lock up your money. It's easy to invest in. Art is highly illiquid. It's difficult to take the money out. That's the negative that I see. Who knows how the art market's going to perform? And I've always been an advocate, hey, you know, for a small part of your net worth, if you want to diversify into alternative assets, whether that be, you know, artwork or, you know, random collectible, it could be anything. It's fine. Like 1 to 3% if you want to risk the money and you don't need it. Fine. But I wouldn't invest a substantial amount, you know, unless you're just totally fine with the money being locked away. You have very little control over it. So that's the one thing that I would say is just a bit of a cautionary tale, not to put too much money in something like that you might need in the short term.
How have your investments been playing out there?
So it's very new, and I think you really see gains when those paintings are sold, and there haven't been enough history or action since I've been there. Yeah,
again, it's a bit of a risk when you put money away that you can't touch, that you can't, you know, really play with. But then again, maybe that's the benefit. That's why so many stock investors end up losing, because it's there. All they gotta do is press a button and it's back in their account and they can buy and sell. Sometimes it's better just to do nothing and hold. So, you know, just something to take into consideration.
Because $2,253 to $512.
This is the original money that I wanted to put into Wealthfront. And since I have so many accounts and the numbers are different, that's where it went.
Okay, see, he's moving around too much between accounts. He's really yield chasing, which you know what? I think that could be very profitable if he's doing like tens of thousands of dollars. He's not, though. So until at that point, it's better just to consolidate, understand which accounts are the best. Money that you're not going to touch for a year, emergency funds, put that in the highest yielding account you can find. Under FDIC limits, of course. Leave it at that, you know? Anything over, you're just complicating yourself.
$17,731 with $453 put in $452, and then $18,183 ending balance at the time of this statement. That is awesome. Year-to-date interest, $70.
There we go. See, this guy's actually doing quite well. So I'm glad he's able to save so much money. I don't see where the issue is so far, besides, we're going to get into it, okay? The food truck.
How did the Ghost Kitchen perform?
The Ghost Kitchen did not perform the best as far as revenue. I can tell you that as far as me getting a taste of operating a business, it was very fruitful.
I mean, that's the problem, though. He's paying to learn. And that's not necessarily the biggest issue, but it's like he could get that same experience working for free for somebody else with no risk on his end whatsoever. I'm a firm believer. If you want to get into a certain industry, or you want to start a business, the best thing that you could do is find someone else who's doing the business you want and offer to work for free or do anything you can just to learn from them. Go and see what it's like. See if you even enjoy it to begin with. And when I say work for free, even if you have like a normal job, see, working after the job, working weekends, working when you're not working on something else. Just find any spare time. Be like, I'll help you out with anything that you want. I could work remotely. I'll be on call. I'll do anything for free. I just want to learn. That experience is going to be so valuable. And that's an experience for him, though. He's paying to get that experience, and it shows in his lack of revenue. It's
not the most ideal situation, but this is a stepping stone for me to grow a more consistent and larger business. And like I said before, I was paying per hour and I have another job, so it's not realistic for me to be open all the time.
Oh, it sounds like he jumped the gun on this one. You gotta be open weekends. Come on. Find someone to help you on this. Find some investor to take over a portion. Because if he's not open, I get it. Sometimes it's not worth your time. But if that's the case, it's not a good business.
Why not cut all your other costs? Take this $18,000 in your other savings, live off of that, and go all in this company.
I like my job that I have. It's has really good benefits and some benefits that I want to keep for a lifetime.
Is a restaurant able to get off the ground 2 days a week?
That's the problem. You know what? He's got to go all in on this thing. This is one of those businesses you can't dabble in. If he's going to dabble, do it part-time, it's going to fail. This deserves his full-time attention. And I get it. It's scary to go full-time on something like this. It's not proven to leave a stable job for a food truck. Really difficult. That's a scary decision. That would make most people probably not choose the food truck. But doing it 2 days a week, part-time, is not going to pay the bills. It's going to be a massive waste of time. This is so much more labor-intensive than I think he anticipated.
I basically see no grocery shopping.
My schedule is here and there and everywhere, and things do change. And during this time period, I believe I had a lot of time off, and I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
You half your income enjoyed yourself.
That's a dangerous spot because it's like, it blows my mind. No credit card debt, trying to chase yields of the best bank accounts that he can. So he's really smart in some areas, but then not tracking his expenses, overspending eating out, and not knowing how much income he's bringing in on a monthly basis. Something like Mint.com would be so perfect for him. Just track it on Mint.com. Easy. Spend like 10 minutes a month doing something like that, he'd be set.
To get the food trailer, took out $43,000.
Oh, $43,000 at what APR?
5 point something.
So it's not the worst interest rate in the world, but still, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I'm thinking he could have put a down payment on, a really inexpensive house or something like that. Listen, I get reinvesting back into the business. I'd much rather him do this towards a business venture than, I want to go shopping or get a car. I think this is way better. There's way more potential here, but it's such a big commitment.
My mom has Parent Plus loans.
And you're taking care of those?
Not the full amount. She's not asking me to pay it back, but being a good son, I wanted to do so. So right now I'm only paying $175 per month right now.
How much is left?
40K or so.
Oh.
Yikes. It's tough taking out loans to start a business while you already have loans for getting an education that you're not really using to work on the business. It's what always perplexed me about student loans and going to college. It's like, why? Why? I think we should be going straight to work. I think there should be a mandatory, you go to work for a year, figure out what you want to do, and then go to college, if that's something that is going to further you in a career. So many people just want to go into college because that's what everyone else is doing, or you have no clue what you want to do, so you're like, well, I may as well delay it by 4 years and $60,000 to figure myself out. Well, you figure yourself out very fast if you go and actually work for a year. Try a few different things, just experiment. That's your time to figure out what you want to do with your life. And you don't have to do it forever, but if you enjoy something at the moment and you see a good career there, go for it.
And Roth IRAs, 401ks?
Yeah. 30, last time I looked, 36,000 in the Fidelity IRA and 401k.
See, he's doing okay. He's doing okay. He's smart. Smart guy. I really wish him the best of luck on this business, because for me, it really just circles around to where he's spending his time at this point. He's doing just fine with his job. I think he wants more than that. He's not a huge fan of it. I think he wants to be his own boss, and he's smart enough to be able to do that. So it just comes down to him pulling that plug, doing the food truck full time.
The business thing, I love it. But then you have the Robinhood, you did Masterworks, you have all these other things, you have a billion different accounts that you have your money on. Wouldn't it make more sense to just focus in an emergency fund, the business, and like a Roth IRA?
I agree with that completely. Caleb is spot on. This guy is too scattered. He's doing too many things, and I think it's taking his focus away from what's really important, which at this point is his job and his savings rate, and not spending too much money. Like, those things could put him in so much better of a situation if he's not so like this and this and this and this and this. Too many things. Simplify it. I agree.
I consider myself starting this business and getting it up to where I want it to be as taking care of her, getting another source of income that is comparable to what I bring in now as the airline, and then having these two fists to help her.
Sure, but do you know what I'm going to say? Spent like $1,500 on fun.
See, this guy is really just focusing on the bigger picture. He's like, you know, all the small expenses, that's not going to make that big of a difference. But if I just get this one thing up and running, then I'll be good. So that's kind of his justification for spending like he's in Congress. That's what Dave Ramsey always says, spending like he's in Congress. But you know what? I think he's hoping for a home run here. He might be able to get it, you know? I think he's got his head on straight. So he might be able to actually pull that off.
Pay off this truck as quick as you can. I feel like if it was at 3% or less, I'd be like, all right, minimum monthly payments, see it through. But 5%, it's over to that 4% that I like to see for minimum monthly payments versus paying it off quickly. You should pay this thing off quicker.
Yeah, the tough part, though, is that's a write-off against the business. So I know right now he's probably not in as high of a tax bracket for that to really make that big of a difference. But at the same time, 5.8 and it's a write-off, I probably wouldn't tie up more money in that. Not until, I guess, it really start making money. I don't know. It's a tough one. That 5.8% is right on the line of, like, you could really go either way on that. You could pay it off, get that out of your mind, or you could just write it off and it's really effectively more like 4%. So either way.
We no longer have a car and house fund. We no longer have a future investments fund. The travel fund you should get rid of. You should get rid of the holding fund as well. Put that all into like this business thing and put that all towards this trailer.
I agree with all of that. I think Caleb's advice is spot on. If this guy just hones in, he's going to do it. He's made so many other great decisions that a few questionable ones could be overcome.
I'm going to get the business open. I'm going to scale it to break even, scale it to profitability, continue to use my salary to pay off the trailer, and increase my monthly payments to pay it off faster.
Again, the tough thing is that if he's going to put money in a trailer, it's hard to get it back out if he needs it for an emergency. I would say if he's doing a business and he wants to go on, keep the money liquid, because you never know when an expense might have to come up that, you know, you're going to need to come out of pocket on that. And if the money's in the trailer, it's hard to get it back out. It's going to be a liquid. It could be trouble for him.
I'm happy that my expenses are quite low. I'm not drowning in a person who's really struggling. I know I can definitely do better to catch up with, you know, you and other folks.
So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And also, don't forget that our sponsor, Fund and Grow, is down below in the description, which would have been perfect for something like this. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and until next time, thank you so much.